my lifetime. And then there is foreign policy. President Trump is going to make America strong in the world again. I had President Trump on a couple of weeks before the election on my show, and we were talking about foreign policy. And he said that his foreign policy is pretty obviously peace through strength, pretty clearly. And I'll tell you what he meant by that in a moment. But he summed it up pretty well in a story. So I threw a fundraiser for President Trump down at Trump Doral in Florida fairly early on in the election cycle. And he and I had a chance to chat. And he was talking about Joe Biden. Now, I don't mean to spoiler alert here. President Trump does not like Joe Biden. Just going to put that out there. He thinks he's not just a bad president, that he's not a particularly wonderful, although I will say I think that Joe Biden probably voted for Donald Trump. And by the way, I know that Jill Biden voted for Donald Trump. There is no question. You see them hanging out, there is no question she voted for Donald Trump. Okay, but what President Trump said, we were talking about foreign policy, and the war in Ukraine came up. And he said, Ben, you want to know why Vladimir never invaded Ukraine when I was president? You want to know? And I said, yes, Mr. President. And he said, well, because I talked to Vladimir. I said, Vlad, if you go into Ukraine, I'm going to bomb the shit out of you. And President Trump continued the story. He said, and Vladimir said back to me, no, you won't, Mr. President. And I said, well, I might. And then President Trump said, quite correctly, if there is a 5% chance that that is going to happen, you don't do the thing. This is the thing that President Trump knows, because he is a man who is credible on foreign policy. He's not like our current dead president. Usually, maybe he'll end up on a dollar bill or something, because usually you have to be actually dead to get on a dollar bill. Joe Biden has been dead for a while, so he might make it onto a dollar at some point. In any case, our currently dead president says things like don't, and then the rest of the world just does. Right? Meanwhile, President Trump says that, and the rest of the world goes, ooh, I don't know. This could get ugly. When we talk about President Trump's foreign policy, it is not isolationism. He believes in an America first foreign policy. And here's what I think that he means pretty clearly from his foreign policy in his first term. He means three things. One, America's interests are first. Now, this should be obvious. America's interests are paramount, obviously. This should be a truism. American citizens come first, right? We're American.